Twitch and lichess.org. International Master Will Paschall with the Ponda and Micro Ponda. Hello. Alright, you stay there. So, we're getting underway, guys. Great simul yesterday. I am playing Blitz and Rapid chess here. A little bit busy sending some emails, so I'm starting just a few minutes late. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I've got challenges 5-3 through 7+3, and that's Blitz or Rapid, depending on which you prefer. Any time control in there. 5-3, 5+4, 5+5, up to a 5-second increment, and then 6+3, 6+4, 6+5, 7+3. Astrobate. Didn't get through your whole email, your whole message. Still working on it. What's up? Writer. He has aspirations to become a writer. Okay. Imre. What was that opening yesterday, Astrobate, you played? You played Bishop E5 check in the Sicilian. You've never done that before, right? Have you played that before? Is that the first time? Scandinavian with knight f6. Was called Bishop e5 check. There's Bishop g4 in this position I've seen played. I kind of gave up playing this opening on a serious level, and this move order is interesting. c4 right away rather than d4. It makes one want to play knight f6 instead of knight to b6. There's also the possibility of knight to b4. What does he do on knight to b4? It's kind of funny. Wait. Knight b4, d4, bishop f5, queen a4 check, knight to c6, d5. That's actually interesting. Oh, we could try it just for fun. No, I've never seen you play Bishop b5 check. Always you're playing Bishop c4. Aspect, good to see you branch out, try something different. So, yeah, and then once I've faced that, normally I play differently than in the simul yesterday against you. Normally I would play knight to c6. But I decided to go more mainstream there. Okay, weird position. Very unusual move order, and therefore it's difficult to actually reach this position. He's gonna follow this, what I said, for real? I was just kind of kidding, you know. First question that arises, like, where is he gonna put his king on knight c2 check? Oh, he's not gonna put his king. See, that was the interesting part for me, like this position playing d5, allowing knight c2 check, and then moving the king somewhere, like king d1 or king e2, or king d2. r2, d2, not king d2 or king d1, that would pin his own pawn, so you'd have to play king e2. And then pawn takes knight would be, that would be funny. Knight c2 check, king e2, d5, knight c2 check, king e2, e6, and if pawn takes knight, queen d3, mate. So I could actually just play e6. Then the beat goes on. White plays knight to c3, daring me to take his rook on a1. I would just take it, and it's still mate on d3. Oops. I guess that variation doesn't work too well for white. Okay. Well, this is the real position with the knight on a3. Then we stop d5 permanently. Oddly, I think we had a similar game against Imre. But not this. It was somehow similar. He played against the Alyakin's defense. That was it. The Alyakin's defense and the Scandinavians seem closely related, but particularly this variation with knight d5. You think your pawn run a4, a5 was a waste of time? a6? I'm just discussing Astrobait's simul game. Yesterday we played a 25 board simul, as I do every Sunday. Guys, we're taking challenges 5-3 through 7+3 if you'd like to. We take challengers who are subscribers first, if there's a choice. Please subscribe and support the stream. I've got a message. If you'd like to challenge me, you can challenge me on lichess, a stream Adora. You'd have to challenge me if you're interested in playing. I don't challenge other people, they challenge me, so feel free to do so. Now, could I play knight d3 check? Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gaining any development. Actually, knight d3 check, bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3, knight e5. Looks kind of complicated. It might actually work out for me, but knight d3 check, take, knight e5, queen takes d4, knight takes c6. Interesting. But after knight check, take, it seems like I lose the initiative. This is my last chance to check him, though. Alternatively, I could play maybe queen d7. I like black's position, though. We won a similar game against Heikki Kallio once in a Scandinavian. He got tied up. This is not a good arrangement with the white knight having to go to a3. I'm just trying to decide whether it's worthwhile. Probably my instinct telling me it's not good to do knight d3 check, but better to just develop. Still, I mean, white gets out too. Castle, rook d1. I think the greater problem is this placement of white's pieces, particularly the knight on b4 and the white pieces on a3 and a4. His coordination is disturbed here. Once you get into that situation, it's almost impossible to get the knight back into the game properly. You'd have to play something like knight b1 or knight b5. Mr. Coffee is tier 2, subscribed for 27 months. Mr. Coffee, you're just barely not a founder. I think 28 months makes you a founder, right? You got an emote, thanks Mr. Coffee's subscription. Alright, we're out of here. Anna, no K. No K. It's no K. I don't know how to say that. E-I-J-I is not easy for me to pronounce. So, it sounds sort of Japanese. 10 viewers, crushing it. Guys, I'm a couple minutes late because I was sending some extensive emails. White's sensibly developing. What about me? Where's my queen go? Queen d7, queen e8, queen c8, rook d8. What do you like? What are we going to do? Bishop f6, queen d7, rook d8. I think I should put a rook on the d file. The founders of the first 10 subscribers, that's interesting. Alright, I did not know that. I thought it was based on like month or something. So the founders are just the first 10 subscribers of all time. We were streaming for quite a while before we started. we were streaming for like a year before we started subs, so it's all kind of debatable to me. We had a lot of regular viewers before we even had subscribers. But I'm not good with remembering the past. I just lose track of what year it is. Alright. I love this kind of position. What's up? Ideophobia. Idiophobia. Ideo. Stefanos Kappa challenging me. I normally take challenges from subscribers first. If we don't have any, therefore anybody can play. You like White's position? No, it's very awkward because the knight on a3, very, very problematic to ever get it off of there. Yeah, I mean, given the choice, White would probably prefer maybe the bishop on like c3 to e3. I could see that. But there's this frontal pressure on his d pawn. It's also happening a lot, like in openings like the Slav. You know, that's right now. I'm threatening to like probably just win a pawn. He's going to end up losing a tempo with his queen, having to move that again, like right now. The other thing is queen doesn't have too many squares, actually. When you think about it, it gets trapped on b3 almost. Like, he does have queen c3. Queen b3, knight a5, queen c3, for example. So again, that c3 square seems like a good place, but I can put a bishop on f6, which is what I did against Heikki. You know, it is an interesting position in the fact that it seems like White should be better because of the central pawn. So I can see that. Theoretically, he has the central pawn, I don't. But because of the misplaced pieces, I think, and the fact that the pawn itself is under a lot of pressure, Black might actually be slightly better. A bit early for drinking. Who's talking about drinking? Cheers. A reference to that, perhaps? Yeah, there's a beer. Beer emote. Alright, so what's this? Knight takes d4. Hallucinating. That's not going to work. Maybe I should have played queen e8 instead. No, that wouldn't work either. So I'm not actually threatening anything there. Interesting. I mean, I could just exchange pieces with something like knight e5, I guess. But then I'm not really better. And the other thing is that knight will come in. I don't want the knight to come into b5, for sure. He could play knight b1. Good luck with that. Yeah, no, knight takes d4 loses the exchange. This is a reasonable move. Rook d2. Guarding c2, I guess. His queen seems strangely placed. I'm just trying to think of ways to trap the queen with b5. Nothing I can really do with that. Oh, he's going to bring the queen back to d1. I was looking for rook d1, but he hangs the a2 pawn there. Yeah, queen d1 makes some sense. You can see he's still like totally messed up with that knight on a3. It is difficult to see how black improves. Time will decide. Yeah, I like queen d1. I don't really have any threats, unfortunately. He could eventually threaten to play d5. He did it right away. That I don't understand. Do not understand. Well, maybe it works, but I doubt it. Take, take, knight takes. All right, let's think about this just to make sure. You could play knight e5. Actually, knight d4 now. Knight d4 is starting to make sense. I could take the pawn, but oh, he's got a discovery. Whoops. Yeah, it's not good for white. Pawn dropped. A2 is just falling too. It's telling that the pawn on a2 just sits there, like hanging. Untouchable. Now you like black. What a bandwagon. Probably like the Kansas City Chiefs too. All right. He's 2 pawns down, but fighting. Fighting back. Now the knight's in the game. If 2 pawns is too much, even 1 pawn should be losing for white here. I guess I should just play a4. I just hate breaking my own pawns. Alright, that's not easy. Impossible to defend white's position. Mahor is challenging me to 9 plus 9. We don't have all day. I like long games, but not for the stream. If you can challenge me to something like 7 plus 3 or 5 plus 3, I can't do longer than 7 plus 3. Juice Box, welcome. Morales is here. He's 1700 in bullet. Looking at Queen D1. I'll check after this game, if you remind me. You've been sick. Oof. Sorry to hear that. But honestly, I think White should look for improvements in the opening. Opening itself is interesting. Okay, drag on. We'll see what we can do here. Super Bowl hangover. Me? No. Oh, Juice Box? I don't think so. Maybe. But he's in Southeast Asia. That must be awkward on the time front there. What's the Super Bowl? What time is it there when the Super Bowl is going on? It's awkward enough here, like in Europe. I didn't watch Super Bowl either. Okay. E takes D5. What do we got? Knight E4. What am I doing again? Something wrong. I'm supposed to play this? Never play this variation. Yeah, I don't even know the score of the Super Bowl. I just know that the Kansas City Chiefs won, which I was hoping for. Alright, but anyway, not really important to me. $31.20 is pretty close. So, what do we got for challenges? Stefanos Morales. Morales I should have taken first because he is a subscriber. I don't have a Super Bowl hangover, but I feel like I do. So the Chiefs came back. Interesting. Bishop D4. So this is theory. E5, Bishop C5, isn't it? Am I not supposed to play Bishop D4? What happens if you play Bishop C4 here? Wait, Boy would have to face like Bishop takes C3, no? Weird question. That's not a normal move, is it? Okay, I'm never playing this line since I've been streaming like the last 3 years. I see. I see. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright, so Queen takes C3. I should really know what I'm doing here, but I don't. Black could play E5 after Queen C3. Not really into pop performances. Bishop D4, Knight takes C3. What do we do here? If Queen C3, E5. Even that would be okay for me. Queen c3, e5, take. Actually, he can't play that. Queen c3, e5, bishop takes e5, bishop h6, check, f4. This should be fine. I don't think knight takes c3 is right. In fact, bishop d4. You know, in fact, I just saw this position the other day. Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, queen c7 is the main line. This is actually theory. Bishop takes d4. Move 11 analyzed this for a game he had, one of our subscribers. Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, knight, queen c7. And if white takes the pawn on d5, black has a lot of compensation. So there was a game we looked at, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, knight b6. But that's not right. Is that right? That's not possible. It has to be... There has to be a bishop on c4 for that to make sense. No, there's something wrong here. Bishop h6 check. So that does nothing, right? I could just play bishop e3. He knows the line less than I do. Okay, honestly, knight takes c6, b takes c6. I guess I've played bishop c4 in the past. That's the main line. Bishop c4, e5, knight e4, bishop e6. Still feels like I'm getting something wrong here. But here it looks like white's just up a pawn without black having any sort of real compensation. There's always some kind of compensation. I'm not up a pawn. What am I talking about? Okay, I'm just up a structure. I'm not up a pawn, but my structure is better. It's the same as being up a pawn. Basically the same. Static advantage of another kind. It's the same as being up a pawn. This is as good as dead. Money in the bank. Okay, bishop c4. Black gets some counterplay, but I like white here. Black has weaknesses here around this king. Isolated pawn. e7 is loose. Very little counterplay for black. Maybe the b file, something. So after bishop d4, the only moves black has are e5 and bishop takes d4. I'm just trying to understand how this position with bishop takes d4, queen takes d4. It must be bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop e6. That still doesn't make sense. Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, queen c7. Okay, that's what it is. But I'm still confused. Bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, queen c7. Bishop c4. Bishop c4, I guess. Knight b6. Does that seem right? Bishop a6 is kind of an interesting move. If bishop b3, I would like to play that, but he has c5. Okay, now I'm clearly threatening to take the e7 pawn, and I have h4, h5 threats. Bishop d4, queen d4, queen b6 is one line, but queen c7 is another. So there's several variations, I guess. I've never played bishop d4 before this game. I guess in Blitz I always played bishop c4. But does that make sense? Yeah. The only thing is if I played bishop c4, then he could play knight takes or bishop takes c3. It doesn't seem right. I guess bishop d4 is normal. Bishop d4, e5, bishop c5. I should really know more theory. All right, what do we do? h4, h5? Subtle. So what is the theory with the dragon now? Is it better to play bishop c4 or better not to play bishop c4? Does anybody know? At least I won't get back rank mated. It's always changing, like, people's opinions about this opening. Every 5 or 10 years, like, somebody says, no, the bishop c4 variation, the Yugoslav is better. No, the other variation is better. Nobody really knows. I haven't analyzed it for 20 years. I think the last time I really looked at this was 2001, Space Odyssey. I mean, I guess I could have just exchanged rooks there. Either way, my attack looks really good. I have h-file threats, he has a bad structure, and he might even give up the open file. Like that. He has to try to fight for the file here, but what's he going to do? Drop his a7 pawn? So it's like we have multiple fronts. I mean, the bad pawns, the file, the h file around his king. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't play the mainline dragon against a 9-year-old kid with a professional coach. I mean, it seems like the dragon is the #1 opening that people like to memorize. 30 moves of theory. Every little child that I ever see playing in tournaments knows the Yugoslav attack, like at least 25 moves deep. When I have a friend who used to play the dragon all his life, he'll regularly lose to like little kids. It's like, dude, you can't play this opening anymore. I mean, everybody knows that. I think black's just getting mated here. There's like no way he can defend. I just queen h6, queen c7, rook h1, queen e5, queen h7, king f8, queen h8. The only thing he could do is defend the h8 square, but he loses his rook in the process. So, just quick analysis here of the opening, because I'm really confused. I mean, honestly, like years ago, I always played queen e1 the few times that I played this variation. But looking at it recently, this is the main line. So this is the main line, bishop d4. Yeah, so this is just unusual to play knight takes c3. They're supposed to play bishop takes d4 or e5, like people was mentioning. E5 is the main line, honestly. Bishop c5 and then bishop e6. I couldn't get this straight in my head though, what the move order was here. Was this how Magnus Carlsen beat Gawain Jones after he dropped a piece or something? Wasn't it in one of these lines? Gawain Jones, one of the only people who still plays the dragon. Bishop d4. So bishop takes d4. Queen takes d4. And I couldn't remember this. Yeah, queen b6 or queen c7. This was the line I guess I was trying to remember. But I couldn't remember where the white bishop went, whether it was b3 or d3. But he played this move, knight takes c3. I didn't know this was even a line. Apparently queen takes c3 is correct. So this is actually okay for black. I think it looks kind of lame. This is a very rare move. Okay. Play just three times. You're supposed to play queen b6. Queen b6 sacrifices the e7 pawn. Now white's better. Following the Borky game from 2003. Anyways, I wanted to see that other game. My last game. The last game someone asked a question about one position in the early middle game where my opponent could have played queen d1. I wanted to see. I guess, was it here? No, it was after rook d2, right? Yes. So apparently, yeah, queen d1. Because this builds up the threat of d5. Apparently white is really better after that. I made an error. So h6 is too slow. Wow, this game actually, that's amazing. This position actually happened in the game. After the 11th move, probably by a completely different move order. Amazingly. Rook d2 was played immediately. We both don't need h3, h6. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, on with the challenges. Mirales. The challenges I'll accept between 5 plus 3 and 7 plus 3. 7 plus 3 is the longest challenge I'm going to accept. Not 9 plus 9, not 7 plus 7, not 18 plus 6. 7 plus 3 is the max challenge. It says it right in the, right on the stream at the bottom of the page. 5 plus 3 through 7 plus 3 challenges. Very, very simple. All right. Getting thirsty. Morales says tricky openings. Tricky openings. What's this again? Yeah, I know it's the bishop's opening. What's c6? c6 d4. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Is that a thing? Interesting. Queen h4. This is going to transpose to something. I can't just lose my central pawn for nothing. I have to play this. I've probably fallen in some sort of trap already. No. What was that thing I was playing against you before? Why is this position so hard for black to play? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. D5 in this position. Black usually plays 3d5. It's a different opening. Black doesn't even usually play c6. What are you talking about? This isn't usual at all. Okay, this move is totally not common. I don't know what you're talking about. Do not believe what you're reading. c6 is a very rare move, almost played by nobody. 3d5, he says. This loses a pawn. I'm so tired of this guy's gambits, really. It's extremely irritating to play against this stuff. Or Alice's entire game is based around playing sort of sketchy gambits. There's more to chess than sketchy gambits. I don't think I have too much compensation here, but at least I got him out of his comfort zone, which is like middle game attacks. Anyway. Seems like we have compensation. The other thing, I think he's obsessed with castling queenside. It's like the other day when I was like accusing someone of not moving any pawns. I wasn't moving any pawns myself. Black's position is clearly worse. Clearly worse here. Okay, I can understand if he doesn't want to castle kingside. Maybe castles kingside, bishop b4, rook e1, rook e8. He can play bishop e3, attacking the a7 pawn. Here we go with the castle and queenside. I'll have this. Yeah, actually, we're really active here. Delicious. What happened? So this is surprising. I didn't think this was played that much. Wow. Well, there's only 30 or 40 games here. I mean, that's not very many. I mean, in this position, literally, c6 has only played 44 games. Normally, you play knight f6. So this is hardly like theoretical variation. Blame it on the baby. Last time, the baby... Yeah, the last time the baby helped. But I looked at it, I mean, it looks like there's ways that white can maybe try to grab a pawn or something. If c6, then d5 mandatory. It turns out it is, but I thought it just loses a pawn. Huh. Obviously, the only thing that concerned me here was this. Although you can play it like a... The engine wants to play it like a hillbilly attack with bishop b3. But I didn't understand why you can't do this. Takes, bishop b5 check, obviously. It looks like you're winning a pawn. But I have this move. I see. So I have this crappy structure. I mean, this doesn't look like a lot of fun, honestly, man. There's one game here from Israel 1993. I don't really like the look of this. I mean, why not just do this for white? Knight takes e5. Slightly unpleasant. It looks like one of those exchange variations of the Caro Kann, where black's trying to play e5 really early. This didn't excite me too much. Okay, so I have to play knight c6. The engine doesn't like that. Plus 0.8 for white. 0.8? This is kind of excessive. D takes e5. This looks like some sort of rubbish game. Maybe it was like Rapid or Blitz or something. Black played bishop c5. Weight is 0.9 according to the engine. How do you know all this, chess lover? It doesn't understand, but it will later. It looks like white's just up a pawn. Knight f3. I mean, there's no way that anybody would be sure about this. I feel like I'm just down a pawn. But I was just down the pawn in the game too. I was just down a pawn in the game too eventually. Queen d4, I sacked a pawn anyway, so. No one's ever dared to do this. But it's no worse than the evaluation the computer gave the other line. I didn't like your exchanging that. But Morales got in trouble quick here. That was quick, man. Amazing how quickly you can lose. But my concern was, well, I shouldn't play c6 on move 2, but I was trying to avoid his gambit. It didn't work. He's going to try to force this gambit no matter what I do. He has a way to sacrifice the pawn against everything. My e5 repertoire is not, it's not too worked out. Kosic variation. Carlsen has played this quite a bit. Just trading pieces. It's actually pretty good for black. This is a surprisingly good way for black to play. Okay, I mean, if you're dead set on trying to win, it's probably not a great idea, but if you want a solid line, it's amazingly difficult for white to get an advantage here. Who? Jennifer. All right. Well, if Jennifer plays it, must be good. Knight c3, d5. So all the pawns are on white squares. That's a good thing. But you're not supposed to play c6. You're supposed to play d5 without c6. That's the problem here. d5, e3. I had a game. Something like d5, e3, castles, knight c3, queen e7, I think. Not very exciting for either side. Honestly, I mean, I think the better variation against the Bogo is to play knight on bd2. If you must play the white side of the Bogo Indian, better to just play knight on bd2. But it's not easy either. Leads to a very complicated game, but I think a better chance for white to get an advantage. Though this c6 looks slow. Black will have to play now like b6 and move his bishop. Just doesn't seem necessary to play c6. The gambit repertoire. The King Crusher gambit repertoire. I don't know, man. Too much about King Crusher. Not my style. I like to play sharp positions though, but I don't really like losing pawns in the first 5 to 7 moves. Dude, what are you talking about, Juicebox? The Pharma guy, it was a chess streamer? Is this a joke or something? What? Alright, you distracted me, man. You totally distracted me. I just pre-moved my queen drop. You know what? It's funny. Like, I'm used to my queen being on like c2 in this type of position. Like, it's just automatic. It's not a problem if the knight comes to e4. And I'm reading like Juicebox comments. Let's see if I can save the game. Dude, you wondering when we'll see his game published from prison in chess? Like, dude, why is that never? Why have I never heard anyone tell this story before, Juicebox? It's interesting. So the guy's really like a 2000 player? You're saying he was a chess streamer? Like, for real? When? I mean, chess streaming didn't even like really start until the last 10 years. I thought the guy was like selling overpriced pharma medications, pretending he's like a CEO or something. When did he have time for chess streaming? When is circa what year was this happening? $2015, dude. What? Wasn't he already like arrested by then? He was supposed to be some pharma CEO or something at that point. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. Are you serious? You actually witnessed this? The guy seems really creepy. His name's too close to Shrek. Martin Shrecky. I would normally resign, but since my opponent's 1400, I'll do what I would do like if it was a rated game. I would try to play it out. That's what I would do. I mean, if someone's like 1,000 rating points lower than me, there's the story about Larry Christensen, which I always relate to people. He had this game in the U.S. Open in like the early 90s or thereabout, where he was playing someone who was like 1900, and he got his queen trapped in the middle of the board. Same thing, like for a piece. Slow time control, like 7-hour time control. And the same thing happened, like his opponent just started systematically giving back a little bit of material like the guy just did. In this case, he gave back in exchange with A5. Of course, a much higher rated player. He was like 1900, not 1491, but still. And Larry ended up winning somehow. I'm sure the position was slightly more complicated than the game we've got here. This game, unfortunately, I draw my queen in a really, really simple position. I mean, it's a boring variation to begin with. Not the ideal place to lose a queen for nothing. You at least want something kind of messy, but this is a really... Definitely I want to take on c6 here. But I'm interested in kind of creating like a fortress. How's black going to win this position? That's the active question. Not like this. Like, I don't think he's making any progress here. So now we have temporarily a fortress. A temporary fortress. Very convincing. I don't want to let him in. It shouldn't hold. No, of course black should win. Don't be ridiculous. But the question is, like, how black should win. Obviously, it's not, like passive play. Probably. Alright, let's see if I can take this pawn. Might be a mistake. Too many pawns on the board. But maybe, if there was no H pawns, I think my drawing chances would be good. If it was slightly less pawns, like 4 against 3, I think I would prefer, ideally. I would imagine it would be a fortress draw. If you take away the H pawns and put the white pawn on G5, the way to make progress. It's still not that easy. Like, if you try to beat a computer from this position, it's probably really hard. Well, obviously you can't exchange pieces anymore. Now he can play f6 if he wants to. I don't think it's that easy, you know, for a beginner to beat a master. I mean, it's like trying to do rook versus queen in a, you know, computer game. Try it. You know, it's very, very hard. You have to know, like, the themes, like, perfectly. So here, I guess I can play h5 now. Might be a fortress, but I think here he can improve his king. Although, yeah, actually it is. It looks like a fortress, not quite. I guess if there was no D and E pawns on the board, it would be a draw. Even that may not be easy. I lost a game like this a couple of years ago. Very similar, maybe even one less pawn on the board. It was a draw, but I managed to lose it. I was tired. How does he make progress? This looks fine. And now it's probably a dead draw. After e5. I had this against Josh Friedel. Like the same position. I mean, there's no way you can win. I just go rook h3, rook f3, rook h3, rook f3 forever. Or move my king. Theoretically, that's his only try. So let's say he plays h4. Interesting, now he's... Wait, what if I play rook f4? He could play h3. Man, that could be nasty. I just had to be careful. Take with the rook if he ever plays h3. All right. That's why you never resign. You got to prove the win. Master Chess is challenging me to rated. Obviously, if you saw this game, I'm in no condition to play rated. I don't play rated on the stream. I'm like commentating. He lost. He overpressed. I think he's winning when there's more pawns on the board. I mean, if you go back to before e5, probably this position, he's probably winning here. Let's see what the engine says. But watch, I mean, after e5. Now, I'm not sure I trust the engine here. So it is a draw. Like, immediately we're in table base. Yet the engine's still claiming 4.4. It's, like, ridiculous. We're in a table base draw, and the computer is claiming a 4.4 advantage. Okay. King h3 loses because of queen h5 check. g3 loses. The pawn must stay back on g2. That's the only formation that draws. King on h1 or g1. Rook h3, rook f3, rook h3, rook f3. But before... Here I think he's legitimately winning. If he plays correctly. Alright. No challengers who are subscribers. Guys, please support the stream and subscribe. Queen versus rook is a 4-point difference in material. That's true. I've got a pawn and a rook for a queen, so technically this is a... no, I've got a pawn, yeah. So this is like a 3-point difference in material here, technically. Well, he's got to get his king active, and he's got to not trade too many pawns. I mean... But basically you want to get the enemy king or queen in behind my pawns. Ultimately get my king out, so you can either get me to move my pawns up or get me to bring my king out. If you get even the final position, if he gets his like queen into behind my lines, he wins. If I'm stupid and like I move my g pawn up to g3, I'm lost. It has to stay on g2. So my rook can always be on a defended square. Either rook h3 or rook f3. If, for example, he could play h3 and I have to take with the pawn, I'm probably lost. Even if I have rook and pawn against queen, it's still lost. So this is the guy who challenged me to 7 different time controls. Alright, let's try something. What did I decide now? I was going to prefer to play a6, I think. I had a game a couple of years ago where I played, and I think I played c6, and then I told myself I would play a6 instead. But anyway, this is a very unusual line. I don't know why I'm unable to challenge, but if it's not a glitch, I'll give my sub to someone. Well, I don't think the fact that you're not able to challenge would have anything to do with subs. It would just be like, I don't understand. Why would you be unable to challenge me at all? It's a casual challenge on lichess. What does that have to do with anything? You should be able to challenge me. Anybody should be able to challenge me. What? Unless your account is like blocked or something, you have to be able to challenge me. A3, that looks like a safe move. I would probably play that. Yeah, I mean, I think that white can try to be more aggressive maybe somehow. A3 is a solid choice. What if I take and play D5, for example? Not the only option. No, Roman used to do this all the time. This would be like a standard way to play, like against Bishop G5 or some sort of Soltis is a big exponent of this stuff. Very popular in the 70s and 80s, chess lover. We're going back in time. Maxim Dlugi played like that against me. Actually, I played the H3 King's Indian against Dlugi, and this is what he did. Something like C6, A6, B5. Like it was a Philidor. Hard to believe this is a King's Indian originally. Dude, Pavlovladny plays like one F4, B3, G6, Bishop G7, Knight G8. I mean, he plays anything that's not counting for something. The guy plays like the worst openings in the world. One day he just stopped playing chess. The last time I played him, it was horrible. He played the Nimzo Larsen against me. It was like a massacre. He had his king on F2 after 5 moves. I don't know anything about this player, new opponent. 1600 bullet, but higher in other categories. I don't play bullet at all, so that doesn't count for me either. It looks very solid though. I like the way he played with like A3. Logical. Very logical. White seems stronger than 1800 Blitz. A3 is a subtle move. Very solid. I would have probably played it the same. I mean, let him take. Here it was possible to play Bishop D3 as well, but Bishop A2 looks good. White should be slightly better now. You don't have the option to send me a challenger message. It's not like some kind of... You haven't been banned. And it's not your browser. Are you trying to challenge me on mobile? Or is it like a regular desktop? 95. Why did I think this wasn't a problem? Because if F6, knight takes E4, clearly that's not good. White is better now. I mean, White's playing this like a master. Queen takes e3. I'm surprised. Good for him structurally, but I thought like my pieces would be embarrassed on the b file here. I guess his move is lower risk. No pawn moves for my opponent, it looks like. That's his basic modus operandi. Rook c8, queen b4, positionally massaging me. Interesting. Okay, I can play queen d7, I guess. Only chance. White is better. Knight, very positional. Knight c6, queen d7, knight a5. Unless I'm missing some tactic, he might have that as well. Computer might play knight takes g6 here. H takes g6, bishop c7, queen d7, bishop takes b6, winning a pawn. I don't know what to say there, El Rostador. Sounds like a mystery. Maybe try opening a new account. It sounds like a glitch. It's probably your browser. Nice piece pressure here by White. Seems very, very strong. Not too many pawn moves. No weaknesses. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do too well in this game. Too many weaknesses. Doesn't even go for the material. He's 1600 in bullet. Maybe I can try e5. My position is pretty much shot. Yeah, he's like a strategic master. Probably. You can't trust anybody, but who knows? This is the guy who challenged me into all the weird time controls. 10, 10, 10 plus 7, 9 plus 9. He was trying to get me to play some kind of crazy increments. That's kind of weird. He wanted to play like a really, really, really long time control. 9 plus 9. Oh, that's just another pawn. I should just resign. Hiroku. Probably. You can check his correlation to Stockfish. Probably very high. It's not really a good sign when you see someone have a bullet rating of 1600 and their like classical rating is 400 points higher. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. I've got better things to worry about. People want to like use a computer. I don't see the point. We had this before, I guess. White is better, but not a very dynamic structure. Yeah, it was a really good game. Congratulations. Let's trade some pieces and get a little bit of room. Symmetrical structure is very hard to win. Heroku's 1600. But we've played a lot of games. You can trust that he's not using an engine or something. I think he's legitimately very fast. Too fast, actually. Could be better if he would take more time. I don't really understand what you're talking about, El Rosador. You mean your gift your sub? You can't like gift an existing sub. Did something happen to your profile on lichess? You don't even know what's going on. Did they like ban you or something? Why would you not be able to play? You don't think that's kind of strange? You're just gonna accept that that's like normal or what? Yeah, I'm clearly worse here. With no space, bishop on b7. We'll have to try to get a knight to c5 and play a5 and lock it in there. Yeah, it was funny. Speaking of cheaters, I was supposed to play a match this weekend in the Hungarian Team Championship. And ironically, it was a guy who used an engine against me in 2 games on here. And I'm not going to play an over the board match against someone who would cheat against me online. So I just didn't go to the match. He was probably like prepared to play me. I would never like play someone over the board who I suspected of cheating against me online. Man, this bishop c5 right away, or rather knight c5 right away. I guess it's alright, I can always take his bishop. What are you guys talking about, Mr. Coffee? Oh, my story? That guy, ridiculous. I couldn't concentrate, honestly, playing against somebody who I suspected was a cheater. It would affect my play too much. It was awkward though. I didn't want to like publicly shame him or anything like that for an online for online chess games in the real world. So I didn't tell anybody why I wasn't playing, except for you guys. I mean, you know, it's not my problem. What the guy does in online chess has no bearing on the real world, really. So it was hard to explain to my team like why I wasn't playing this match. Very awkward. Yeah. But if I had had to play him, I couldn't stop thinking about the games he played against me online. Every single move he played was Stockfish, number one choice. It's just a kid. He's pretty strong, excellent bullet player. But I was really sure about it. I'm not punishing myself. Why? So why am I punishing myself? I don't want to play 2,100 players. I'm doing myself a favor. I mean, it doesn't do me any benefit to play with players who are 200 rating points lower than me. It's like a benefit for him to play me, you know? I'm not, you know, maybe I lose like... No, I'm not going to say who it was. Am I blocking? You think I'm blocking El Rosador? I didn't think so. He challenged me yesterday, wasn't? I played El Rosador like 2 games. Didn't I just play El Rosador the other day? And we can check to see if he's blocked. I might have blocked the wrong person. I think I blocked someone yesterday because they played too fast. It was driving me crazy. But that's weird. Knight a6 doesn't look good. And my knight is stuck. We can come back. b8, knight d7. I usually block people if they're cheaters or if they keep like repeatedly challenging me over and over again. When I decline their challenge, they just keep challenging again and again and again. That's extremely annoying. Like if I don't accept a challenge, obviously there's a reason why I don't. All right. Anyway, lots of positive topics today. Better queen and knight. Just hung my knight. Good game. All right, wait a second now. Let me figure this out. What are you talking about? How do you spell your name, El Rosador? I don't know, man. How do you spell it? Yeah, I had like a winning position. I just hung my knight. Could have blocked you by accident. Yeah, you got blocked. All right. Maybe I blocked you when I was trying to block the other player yesterday. Well, let's check out this game while we're at it. Mahor. 15, 1 inaccuracy. Are they all stockfish moves? Let's see. While we're having fun. Alright, bishop d3 was my choice. Computer's close. That's the second choice. E takes, C takes. The bishop a2 was his one inaccuracy. I mean, it's very difficult to prove if someone was cheating based on one game. You can't, you know. Let's see, bishop f4, normal move, first, second choice. Queen e2 was not the first choice, or even the second choice. Queen e3 is number 1. Now white engine wants to play rook e1, played knight e5, so. This is interesting. I also thought he should take with the b pawn, and he took with the queen. I mean, you couldn't possibly. This was a strong move, though. Knight d3. It could easily be an engine, but I mean, I also played kind of bad. I mean, you can't really say. Could be using a computer. I would need more games to come to a conclusion. But I wouldn't want to see too many games like that from someone who's 1600 in bullet, you know. You're going to get banned by the site, I mean, eventually. You can't play like that on a regular basis. All right, what am I doing? Back. A little distracted today. What am I doing? I want to just accept this challenge. 7 plus 2. Pawn to a8, I don't know, man. It was only a 20-move game, and a lot of his moves were like the second or third choice. You can't really reach a conclusion. There's not enough information to say if somebody's cheating or not based on one game. I would need a larger sample size. Learning chess 1291. Yeah, Martin Kessler. We've had a lot of this over the years, so lots of people who don't know any better, they think it's funny to use a computer to play, but it's a waste of time for everyone involved, sadly. Interesting opening here. Well, you can never have a tournament online, ever, because of cheating, which is really sad, you know. You can't have like the future of chess online because of cheating. I don't know if chess will eventually die because people don't want to go to like over the board competitions, or there's no way you can make a competition online that's fair for like prize money. I mean, bullet chess, they can even cheat at that. It's not easy, but very doable. Okay, black just allowed me to fork this, win a piece. A good idea, therefore, is the FIDE online arena. You need to register with your FIDE ID. Wow. I don't think FIDE is a good idea, but the idea where you have a chess site where you do have to register your identity is a good step in the right direction, but it would never float. Like if it came down to, if it comes down to any amount of money, a serious amount of money, I mean, even like legitimate grandmasters, trust me on this, even like established grandmasters are going to start cheating. You know, there's just no limit to the lengths that people will go to if you start making like prizes significant or something like that. In theory, sadly, I think the only way to have, you know, competitions in the future would be like sort of combine like live and online elements, you know, so you have like everyone meet in one location and there's like an arbiter or something like that, you know, to kind of officiate from one place, you know, the way they have had things like the US Chess League or old school like telephone matches and stuff like that. Your alternative account, Viking Beer. Nice. I know who Blizzard is. That's Martin Kessler. You play in the lichess 15 plus 15. Of course there's a lot of cheating in the longer time controls. Especially amongst amateurs. I think it's funny like when you play really bad cheaters who like don't have the skill to make the moves fast enough, and sometimes they just like lose on time. That's always like the most satisfying. When you get the really bad operators that are like just not skilled at cheating, you're able to actually like win on time, or even though they played like a perfect game until the last 10 moves, they start to fall apart. Okay, e6 is a big problem here. I might be losing a piece back with f4. But this is so strong that it's probably enough. Maybe the passed pawn on d6. I don't care if I lose a piece back. Chess really is the most popular game in the world by far. That's probably... it could be true. Video games. A new peak. Nice. XNetman says, make tournaments more attractive to go to. Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like since I've been playing chess, tournaments have probably not really gotten better. I mean, there's this really strange things I've seen, like in some local tournaments, I think the prizes aren't any better now than they were 25 years ago. It's really sad. Internet is hurting over the board chess. I'm sure like club chess suffered a lot. But it brings more chess players in overall, so probably it's okay. But I just don't see, you know, how you can competitively play chess without the threat of computers. And therefore you have to do over the board chess. It's the same in poker. Eventually, everyone will realize like bots or whatever, will make online poker impossible. So pretty much like any game. I mean, how do you prevent like cheaters and ultimately in video games? In any games, any kind of online games, it doesn't matter. Cards, chess, video games. Cheating is such a huge threat. People just find ways to hack the game. Although you can't do real life video games. I mean, I guess, yeah, you could. You can. Although they're like played basically on the internet, so it becomes kind of complicated. Learning chess is really hanging on here. What do you mean you don't feel like paying another man's entry fee? I'm surprised I didn't hang my queen here. Played some really bad games today, just dropping pieces. I don't understand your comment, chess lover. In what respect? In the lower U.S. sections, prizes don't go up because there's, in theory, that the amateurs, should practically pay for the title players. I mean, that's not the case in all tournaments. I mean, the tournaments where I've played locally, it's just based on the section. I mean, I lived in New England. If we had any kind of state tournaments or anything like that, there wasn't any like extra money going to the open section. It would just go into whatever section it was. I mean, I think that's what most fair tournaments do. This idea of paying extra money to the master section or something, I'm not sure that's in place, everywhere. It's not like you're paying Magnus Carlsen appearance fees or something. Some random tournament in the United States. Shouldn't be like that. Yeah, we're just up a million pieces here. I guess it depends, but you should be more choosy about like what organizers' tournaments you play in, I guess. If that's the issue. Like maybe you don't play in like continental chess or whatever. I don't know. I have serious issues with them. Too many pieces. Title players play for free and win money. Not too often. All right. What time do we have? 12:53. Okay. But I mean, even the title players who play for free, chess lover, get the money deducted from their prize or whatever. Glitchberg's like the cheapest person in the world. He doesn't give away free entries. Even the GMs, if they win anything, okay, that's true. Like, the players who don't win money, they do get their entry for free. But there are people who go to those tournaments to see the stronger players or whatever. I don't know if I agree with it. But I mean, it's a pretty common idea to have gratis entry fees for titled players. I mean, look at like Gibraltar. I don't think the GMs are paying to play in that tournament. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. There's an argument for it. I can understand that. This is a pretty lame variation for white. I usually play all different stuff. He hasn't played h6 here. You know, typically in Tartakover, black will play h6, bishop h4, and he doesn't have that. I don't understand why some people don't interpolate that move. It's a useful move for black, not really a weakening, to play h6. Guys, tomorrow I'm going to hold 5+3 Blitz Arena tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. CET. Betting on chess matches? Well, I mean, there have been various sites that have had betting on chess matches, right? I mean, I would think like that's been going on for quite a while. I mean, I didn't do it ever, but now that you mention it, Stinger 8-7. I mean, I think that it just wasn't that popular, first of all, compared to other sports. It's like insignificant for betting sites to worry about having odds for chess. But I don't think it's a new thing. Yeah, Asterbait plays a lot of unrated games. Well, everybody plays a lot of unrated games against me. Because I don't want to play rated games here. At least not while I'm streaming and dropping pieces. Today was particularly bad. I dropped a knight against one player, dropped my queen in another. Betting on chess. I'm not sure how much of a market there is for that, really. Probably I should exchange on d5. It's not that big a deal, though. His knight can resurface from knight d8, knight d6. I never watch the Super Bowl when it's like I'm in Europe and it's at 3 o'clock in the morning. Or any kind of sports that are in the middle of the night. No, I'm sad. I was enjoying watching sports when I was in Massachusetts until November, but too hard to stay up all night to watch. All right. Rook d8. Interesting setup. So this is what it is. It's Magnus and Unibet getting together. Well, I mean, I think Magnus has everything to gain and nothing to lose. Why not? Why would he not? Do you think he cares about like the moral side of it or something? Just money for him. He doesn't seem to have a clear moral compass or anything. Just kind of doesn't have much to say about anything on those type of issues. He likes to remain neutral. Yeah, Magnus is into sports. I mean, he's comparing chess to football. Betting is big business. So, of course, he would be into it. Plus, it's money in his pocket. He doesn't seem to be a money person. Well, I wouldn't call him Greta Thunberg either. I don't know, man. Seems like he's into sponsorship and getting money as much as anybody. What are we going to do? This looks kind of fun. Magnus Carlsen is strongly behind efforts to slow climate change. He doesn't seem to have many opinions about things that he voices vocally. He's just a young guy. I mean, it's not like he's Kasparov, like a bitter old world champion with a lot of chips on his shoulder. Plus, he's probably manipulated by the older people around him, like his parents, his former trainers, quote unquote managers. He's not like a middle-aged adult or something. People probably exploit him and control him a lot, which is, I think, what would happen with like a young celebrity. I wouldn't call him like completely independent. All right. Although it's weird, it's weird because my perception of him is like that he's younger than he is because I met him so long ago when he was just a kid. So it's weird. I mean, to me, he's like a 16-year-old kid still. All right, black is lost here. Magnus Carlsen Magnus. There was this master at the Boylston Chess Club in the 90s named Carl Magnuson. That's really funny. He came on my stream once. He was like, "Hey man, remember me? It's Carl Magnuson." Like, you're the dude literally like foreshadowed the future world champion by accident. It's so weird. He was like a 2200 player. What are the chances of that? Two connected passed pawns. Just win. Well, I would think he is a national hero for Norway, of course. Like, he started a huge trend for everyone to play chess there. Yeah, I guess Kasparov is a common name. That's not his real name, of course. Kasparov's real name is like Weinstein, originally. Blizzard, Viking beer. All right. There's Sergei Kasparov. But I imagine that's a common name. Much more common than, I don't know, average names. Okay, what am I doing? Blizzard is a strong player. 2137. Didn't play my simul yesterday, right? Magnus Magnusson. Nice name. Sounds powerful. Carl Carlson. Oof. This is a weird move. C5. Symmetrical. It's like Magnus Magnusson. Don't know what's up with that. Unusual. I'll tell you what, I don't really like d takes c4, d takes c5, d takes c4. This seems more dynamic. Now this is just a strange line. Black playing for queen h5, some sort of peace activity. I don't know what this is. Weird. It seems like white should be better, but that's a serious attacking motif. You know, this is a crazy move, queen c4. That's not normal. I definitely think queen h5 is reasonable. Very strange move, queen c4. But on the other hand, it's not so easy. Blizzard also did, you did the weird move queen a6 and some, it reminds me of your idea to play queen a6 in the Scandinavian or whatever. Very strange. Well, it's not so simple. I mean, knight e5, he can take the pawn on d4. I was actually looking at that. Knight e5, queen d4. Queen d4, c d4, knight b5, threatening knight c7. But he'll just play knight a6, and it's probably not that bad for black. Maybe even black's fine. I guess I could play queen b3 with like a very small edge here. But it's very, very little advantage. Imperceptible. It doesn't feel like a great plan, but I'm running out of time. This opens the A file, which is pretty standard, I would think. Adding a little pressure. Still, black should be okay, I think. This is probably not the best reaction, but I couldn't figure out what to do. I mean, Maybe d5. d5 looks almost critical, but it looks slow. Knight a6 doesn't work. Hopefully. Of course, I'm not really threatening anything. I mean, knight b5, I guess. But if knight b5, then he can play knight c6. You like knight e5, queen d4, queen d4, knight b5? I didn't really like it as much as this. Chess bum. I've been getting that question a lot. Well, the true chess bums, you know, they don't work at all. I work a lot. So there's a slight difference there. Best to get a wealthy wife. That's what the true professional chess players do. Try to, anyway. What do we do? Bishop e3, knight g4, knight b5 doesn't do anything. Maybe b4 is an idea here. Rook a3, I thought. But it seems slow. Okay, maybe rook a3 is not necessary. Let's just develop another piece. Yeah, that's Shabalov. The Shabalov-Alexander Ivanov system. Marry a woman with a good job. I won't even go. I don't want to go into more details on that. Let's see, b4. I think b4 is good. I was going to play rook a3 originally, but I don't need more time. I mean, I need more time. I don't want to waste time here. Chess players generally do chess. So I'm just taking this. Give me that. What's this? Free pawn. And then another one. Since when do you make money, Juicebox? You have a business going there? Uh-oh. Maybe bishop f4 to keep him off of rook b8. Surprisingly, I teach chess, produce chess material, do chess streaming, and teach chess lessons. It's a shock, I know. Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys in Hungary like that they became GMs, but they hardly make anything. A lot of the young Hungarian players are like 2,600, but they earn almost nothing. Some of them can't speak English well enough to like teach chess. There are tons of 2,600 players here in Hungary. They probably hardly make any money. I mean, seriously, you don't play chess if you want to make money. I mean, somebody should have told them that in the first place. You don't do chess if you want to earn any kind of serious living. That's the first basic rule of chess, you know. chess is not something where you're doing it to try to earn a lot of money. I mean, how many like strong American players have quit the game to do other stuff? Like almost all of them. 90% of the title players I know. Maybe not that many, but a lot. I could just list tons. I mean, I would say most players speak English, but there are some that don't, and not very well. You know, it's one thing to speak a little bit, but to be really fluent in it is another. So that's not easy. All right, Blizzard is hanging on from a clearly worse position here. But the double pawn, I would say it's fairly significant. I could have changed rooks, but I decided not to. If black loses the pawn on b6, obviously he's lost. How to make progress? Maybe knight maneuver to d4, c6 looks really strong. So what's this about? How's he going to defend this pawn? Maybe he has some sort of counterplay? If bishop c6, knight, he has rook d2. Surprisingly annoying. But I think white can just systematically improve little by little. Rook c6 is a threat. What is he going to play? King f8 here, maybe. Bishop b3. Interesting. Uh-oh. I have rook c6. Wait, is there a defense to that? That looks pretty tough, actually. Oh. Because the other way probably wasn't enough. Oh, he just takes the pawn. He's allowed to do that. Check. I get the pawn to the 7th. My rook's in the wrong place. Oh no. You have that. Kidding me. What is going on? I didn't see rook d7. I mean knight d7. I'm lucky that it isn't even stronger for black here. Counter threat. Alright, so then I play this. And what's going on? I didn't really want my bishop to get kicked off the long diagonal, but I don't have a lot of choices here. He seems much, much faster than me. Bishop c4. I would never thought of this move. Just miraculous defense. After miraculous defense. f4. Rook c2 is what I expected. Just finds every move. Am I making progress? I really thought I had completely blown it here. This bishop is sort of trapped in its own world. But I mean, can he get it out somehow? If he plays like bishop g2 check. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to have regrets in life. Sometimes I regret. Sometimes I don't. I mean, it is what it is. I'm actually winning in the final position. I thought I had overpressed here, but it looks like it was the only try. f4. Yeah, now apparently he has one move, rook b3, which neither of us saw. This move saves him. Knight a4. Now I'm actually slightly worse. Computer says no. Yeah, I'm slightly worse. I know that I was overpressing. Alright. Last game for today. Viking beer. Viking beer subscriber. Unless Rossador wants to play. Alright, I'm only taking subscriber challenges last here. I think that everybody regrets. I regret like almost all of my decisions in life. Like, is that normal? You know? Does anybody not regret? There's always like another possibility. A weird thing happened the other day. My best friend who taught me how to play chess I hadn't really thought about him in years, and I went online to try to look him up, and I saw that his dad had just died. He was 77, and I didn't know his dad that well, but the funny part is that his dad was actually responsible for me becoming a chess player, because indirectly, because his dad was the one that taught him to play chess. And then when he was better than his dad stopped playing, and he got me to start playing with him. So this guy passed away, but he was, he may not have even realized it, but he was actually just weird how strange little things happen in life. This guy who wasn't even that into chess at all, he was just a total beginner, was actually responsible for me becoming a chess player by completely random circumstances, just by teaching his son to play chess when he was a kid. It's really weird how things become like a chain of events. It's all his fault that I'm a chess player now. Alright, Viking Beer. I like your play until bishop d2. Instead of bishop d2, b3, because you need this knight to be able to fall back to d2. So if I push to e4, my pawn is under attack again. See, now your knight has to go back to a bad square, or g5, which is a good square. Damn it. This is like my game with Merle yesterday. What is wrong with me? Wow. You're right, dude. You're better. I forgot you could play knight g5. I'm such an idiot. I had to do the same thing yesterday against Merle. I just let him play knight g4. He sucked me in, thinking that e4 was good. I'm just losing a pawn for nothing now. No, not exactly. Alright, I can go for this one. But this isn't good. I mean, this is trading my c pawn for this one. I might not lose material, but I still don't think this is correct. Yeah, but it's a good exchange for white. He would be getting my central pawn for his c pawn, which is favorable for white. So I jump the gun. I should just play maybe h6 first, or c6. Probably h6 or c6, and white plays queen c2. Then I could play e4. I played it a move too early. I don't know. I mean, knight c4 is not that bad. But ultimately, he has the stronger pawn chain. Yeah, I mean, Luke McShane, like a lot of American players who quit chess, Patrick Wolf, Ilya Gurevich. Coming to mind as people that I knew. Michael Wilder. But it is sort of sad to have to quit chess to go into something else. When you're that good at it, it's really... like to win the World Junior Championship and quit chess. It's kind of weird. Someone of Luke McShane's level. Infamous. Why is infamous? Why is Ilya infamous? You're giving me a free pawn? Trying to trap my knight on b2. Yeah, but I mean, not a big deal now, but ultimately when the position opens up, black would be better with the two bishops. I'll play one more 5+3 game, but that's it. I gotta go. Important stuff. Work. So 6:30 tomorrow. Guys, please subscribe and support the stream. We didn't have any bit donations today. A stingy crowd today. All right. How do you want to play this? D5? Maybe I shouldn't make this move. Because now white has the queenside minority attack. B4, B5. Actually, I like that. It looks like a bishop G5 Grunfeld. I don't like this, Viking Beer. You're putting your pawn on a white square. You got a white square bishop. Should go to A3. And you try to play for B4 and try to break my structure. Alternatively, you can try to play F3 and E4. Good luck with that. With me having control of the dark squares. There you go. So if I take on E4, he takes with the knight, and then he has threats of knight F6 check. This is the problem. Mr. Coffee. Getting on the board with 100 bits. The pity donation. Thank you, man. Slow. Tips on Mondays are slow. Everybody lost all their money in the Super Bowl betting on the 49ers, I guess. It was hard to root for a team with a former Patriots second-string quarterback. I couldn't do that. I had the 49ers had to lose. It would be embarrassing. But anyway, I have a plan. I'm going to take on D4 with the queen. Trade rooks, trade on C3, trade everything, take on D2. Take on C3, he's got a rook on the back rank, check. So there's no easy solution here. It actually looks like I have to do something I don't really want to do. Don't know. Taking on E4. Maybe I take on E4, but then he's got knight E4, knight C5. See, I don't see a way I can win material. You sent a PayPal donation. But nothing came up to give me a dopamine boost. I need a dopamine boost. I'll take one of those. No, but seriously, what am I going to do? Bishop takes D4, D takes E5. Pawn takes E4. I was going to play queen takes D4, queen takes D4, bishop takes D4, pawn takes D5, rook E1, rook E1, bishop takes C3, rook E8 check, king G7, pawn takes C3, pawn takes D5. Now he's got me pinned on the back rank and I have no way out of it. That can't be good. So your vote is as good as mine. I don't know what to do. I need to just let it be. I can't win material yet. Now he might be able to try E5, or he might choose to isolate my pawn on D5. You like bishop D4. So you like just taking and then throwing the bishop out there somewhere. I think this is the other legit thing to do. Maybe better. I still think black is better though, with the bishop pair. this awful move on the queen side he made, a4, weakening his whole structure. Now if he has to play f4, it's going to start getting really creepy. Blubby, what's up? It feels good to sleep late. I don't think my structure is bad. It's actually a good structure. We're better. I think the closed nature of it, though, kind of makes my bishops look stupid. This one looks a little stupid. But it's still looking dubious for white. This pawn and this pawn and this pawn. How's he going to keep all that protected? Even just like bishop f7. Guess he moves his king. Rook f8, taking the open file, is another good move, although it takes pressure off of e5. Bishop h3, your idea now looks pretty solid. Probably I could have done that. Yeah, in that variation you were talking about, you would have allowed exchanges on d5 and possibly c6. Now I have a subtle threat. That keeps his king off of g2. I was thinking maybe just rook f8. Perhaps bishop g4 was even better. Rook f8. Jusbach just didn't see the threat tactically. It's over. Lunch over. Alas, I worked this morning. So Blubix, is the strike over in Paris? So if he doesn't play this, if he plays king h1, right? How bad is this position? The chess engine says queen e3 is the better move. I was going to play rook to the f-file. Black is clearly better, but no win. Then he's got this weakness, so all of his pawns are weak. I mean, I thought a4 was a really bad move. Knight a4 is better. Alright, last game. Seriously, Blowix? Another strike in a week? That's terrible. So nothing's changed. Temporary solution only. I wanted you to play c5 so I can play e4 in honor of Blobix. What do we do? E3 or G3? Just a standard Reti. See you soon. Thank you. Somewhere someone was debating this. Why is this so familiar to me? Taking on c4. Yeah. You played a B3 Sicilian. In the French Team Championship in honor of me. Thank you. How did it go? Victorious, I hope. At least a draw. I played hooky from my team game because it was this dubious kid who used an engine in at least one game here against me. I told the story earlier. I didn't want to play him. I would feel very weird about it. I wouldn't be able to get it out of my head during the game. So I just didn't even... I told my team I just wouldn't play. I have problems like getting fixated on things, so better I just didn't play. It was a really weak team, and we didn't need really strong top boards to take them down. So I just said, this team's too weak. I'm not going to play. And I didn't. Queen c7, standard stuff. All right. Pots are like yourself. He made the last blunder. It's always the last one. So I've been here before. We had a couple games in the stream like this. When I was preparing to play Miklos Galiash 2 years ago, I was looking at his games with white, and he had a whole bunch of games like this. He's a Hungarian IM. He's got a GM norm or two, maybe even three. But playing really good Reti with white. I was impressed. Basically the plan was like to play f4 later on and just clamp down on the center. The problem with black's exchanging on c4, he gives up a strong point in the center. This is like exactly what happened in Galiash's games. You just go f4. And then if like black does nothing, you could even like overrun them on the king side with g4, g5. Kind of like a demented stonewall attack. It was very effective. White's just better. Spatially. But I'm not sure. I mean, Miklos didn't beat anyone like really, really strong. They were like average masters or something. But it seems like a very difficult plan to combat. Not a lot of fun to play black here. I mean, I think like technically there's really no reason to make this exchange. D takes c4, B takes c4. Simplifies matters slightly. Okay. I think that h5 might be ultimately making things worse. I hope, I should say. That ultimately might weaken black's kingside worse. This is not like Morphy style chess we're playing. Morphyism. I wonder if I should even play knight back to f3. Perhaps a different plan. It's certainly not bad to play knight back to f3, but then I can't play g4, g5. Best to be direct. They were average masters. You know, I mean, like 2200s playing against a 2480 player, you know. I mean, there's a big difference. A strong IM who's almost a GM against like 2300s is like a 150, 200 point swing. I mean, they should dominate. Masturbate. When you're talking about 150 to 200 points, the result should be pretty dominant. But this is exactly the kind of thing that happened in Galiash's games. And then the other bishop is like a razor on this diagonal. I mean, black has the pressure on the d-file, but it doesn't amount to anything. And slowly white just builds up a really big kingside attack. Thanks, Juicebox, for being a subscriber. So now the next stage begins. Stage 2. I see. Not sure if this is right or not. Clearly black has some defensive possibilities here. Now wait a minute. A4. This seems slow. Yo. That I did not envision. Definitely. That's a crazy good move. What a judgment by black. Positional play with allowing the bishop on e5 and queen c8. I thought he would just play queen c8 right away. I mean, that is a weird decision not to play this right away. But he gets rid of my knight on e4. Interesting. Now what do I do? No idea. Is white just lost now, or what? Just completely outplayed? How about my bishop? Should that retreat at some point? Wow. The master. That is an insane move. I mean, to play that voluntarily. Rook d6 again. Man, where's my attack? h5 maybe. Queen h5. It's not enough. There's no sense in that move, bishop a1. But I'm basically like in Zugzwang. I don't know what to do. Did he just give me more time? I feel like my time just increased. I gotta go, guys. So check this out. He's clearly better after queen c6. But the computer said I can play king f2. I don't understand, like, what this does, really. So it has to do with an exchange sacrifice. I'll play rook h1, and then when he takes on d3, I'll take it and play like queen h5. This is the most amazing move ever. To play bishop d6 in this position. Apparently I'm like winning. But I was down to no idea what to do. Bishop d6 is also the engine's move. I never would have even conceded with that. I mean, I would automatically play queen c8 here. But I need time. Bishop d6. And the computer actually suggests rook takes d6. Then it changes its mind. But I guess I missed the right path completely. I've got to have something on the H file, and there's no way I can get a rook over there fast enough. What did I do? I did rook d2, which is a good move. Apparently I'm winning. Queen c8, and now rook d1 is a blunder. It's hard to believe this is like a throwing my advantage away blunder. Bishop g2, and now so knight g2, which looks like a natural move. Defending e3, but the knight has nowhere to go from there, and most importantly, I'm taking away my protection from d3 when I do this. So after knight takes g2, my advantage is slipping. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I thought you had queen c6, honestly. What's wrong with queen c6? Computer still thinks that white is better, but I felt danger here. My a pawn is hanging, and my king is pretty extended. The pawns are all pretty extended. Not an easy position to play, so I made 6 inaccuracies. Anyway, everybody, thank you for the games today. I'll be back tomorrow night with a Blitz Arena. Thanks to Mr. Coffee and Acerbate. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you guys. Have a good one.